Do you struggle with sleep? Are you drinking a ton of coffee, pre-workout, energy drinks just to get through the day? I've been down that downward spiral, and I'm someone that went from doing that to sleeping great every single night. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the simple strategies that you can implement to improve your quality of sleep. And I'm also going to talk about how you can use caffeine the right way without affecting your sleep. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Sleep tip number one is regulating your schedule. You want to try to go to sleep at the same time each night and wake up at the same time each morning. Okay, you don't want to be staying up all night on the weekends and sleeping in till 2 p.m. and then trying to bounce back on Monday. This is something that in college, this is something I definitely fell into, every single weekend. And I'd have other bad habits too that I'd be doing on the weekends that fed into this, but every weekend I'd be staying up super late till 2 a.m., sleeping till past noon on the weekends, and then I'd try to bounce back on Monday. And it just makes it super hard to stay in that. So you want to try to regulate your sleeping patterns and your sleeping schedule and try to go to sleep at the same time each night of the week, whether it's the weekday or the weekend. This is going to help you out a whole lot with your sleep. Sleep tip number two is delaying your caffeine intake for at least an hour and a half after waking up. Okay, the reason is your cortisol levels are highest right when you wake up, and intaking caffeine is going to increase your cortisol even higher. That's going to lead to stress, extra added stress throughout the day, and it's going to cause you to sleep worse at night. Okay, so you want to delay your caffeine intake for at least an hour and a half after waking up, and then after that, you can start drinking your coffee and whatever you're going to drink throughout the day that has caffeine. Okay, but that's sleep tip number two, is delaying your caffeine intake about an hour and a half after waking up. All right, so sleep tip number three, since we're on the topic of caffeine, is intake the right amount of caffeine. Most people are drinking way too much caffeine. All right, what you want to try to aim for is 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine per day max, and that's about 1 to 2 cups of coffee. All right, or 4 to 6 cups of tea, depending on what kind of tea you're having. But coffee and tea is what I would stick to. That's going to be your most natural sources of caffeine, and it's going to be the right type of caffeine to give you good energy throughout the day without as much negative effects. All right, but 1 to 200 milligrams of caffeine is what you want to try to aim for, and you want to try to cut that off about 6 to 8 hours before you go to sleep so you don't negatively affect your sleep. Because caffeine has a 6 to 8 hour half-life, meaning every 6 to 8 hours, it's half as effective as when you first ingested it. All right, so delay that caffeine intake for an hour and a half like we talked about in sleep tip number two, and then cut it off at least 6 to 8 hours before you go to sleep, and try to stick between 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine per day. Sleep tip number four is to exercise and eat right. All right, so if you're not exercising and eating right throughout the day, you're going to negatively impact your sleep. All right, moving throughout the day and eating the right foods is going to improve the quality of sleep probably more than anything we've talked about. All right, so you need to exercise, you need to move around, and you need to eat the right foods that aren't going to negatively affect your sleep. All right, so sleep tip number four again is to exercise and eat right. Sleep tip number five is probably the most impactful tip that improved my quality of sleep. And this is going to be set your phone far away from your bed so that when you set your alarm in the morning, it's going to cause you to get up and get out of bed, so you're not going to snooze your alarm, but also it's going to cause you to not be on your phone while you're in bed trying to fall asleep. So sleep tip number five is huge, but set your phone far away from your bed so that you get up in the morning and so that you're not on your phone, causing you to stay up at night. I'm going to go ahead and end the video there at 5 sleep tips. This is definitely a topic I could talk about a whole lot more. I could have at least 20 more tips on sleep alone, and I could talk about caffeine a whole lot more. So if this is something you're interested in, please let me know. Please comment below. I can make another video. And please like the video if you found this valuable. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to pump out a lot more content. I'm enjoying the process of this. I'm loving it. So if you want more no BS fitness advice, please subscribe to my channel. And I can't wait to talk with you more. Talk to you soon. Peace out.